back to Steph Hunter Made. If you're new here, my name is Stephanie and I'm a beginner sewist. It's the middle of January and it has been freezing outside. It's been snowing pretty much every day. It's given me a lot of time to stay indoors and work on projects, but I don't really have anything that is winter appropriate. So I decided that I'm gonna make a summer dress to bring the sunshine back into my apartment and maybe get myself excited for summer. So this is actually going to be my second time following a paper pattern without having a video tutorial to follow it. So when I was looking through my stash, I came across this pattern, McCalls M8195. So I actually got this pattern from Fabricland for just $3. I think that I'm going to get a lot of uses out of this dress pattern. I'm going to be doing view A today. So happy that I found so many people on Instagram who have posted how this dress turned out for them, because it's just super helpful to see it visually and it's adorable. The fabric that I'm going to use is this thrifted bed sheet that I got from Value Village for just $6.49. It's a cotton and polyester blend. I wouldn't say this is really my style, but it is very cutesy. It's got the polka dots and the little yellow roses, which I think are adorable. And I think it will look nice in this style dress. If you know anything about sewing, you know the instructions in these patterns can be a little bit vague. For a beginner, that can get a little bit confusing because it's a little bit hard to follow. I actually learned how to sew with these patterns in school, but I had a teacher there, walking me through. So I thought it would be fun if I brought you guys along with me to make this pattern together and see how easy it is for a beginner to do or how difficult it can be. So on the first page here, it shows you all of how to read the pattern. So how to mark the pattern, how this indicates the bust line, waistline, basically all of the markings that we need to know. And then if we go down here, it's going to show us how to lay out our pattern. So we're making dress A. These are the pattern pieces that we need. I've already gone ahead and cut all of those out in my size. So to me, this looks like nothing is on the fold. Pieces are cut mirrored. We also are going to need to line some pieces. So for my lining, I'm actually planning on just using some scraps of white cotton sheets that I have in my stash already. I've already come across something that's confusing to me. If you look at the lining, it clearly shows a fold line and to cut these pieces on fold. But when you look at how it's telling us to lay out the fabric, it's clearly not showing us a fold. And I'm just wondering if it will make a difference or if it's meant to save us fabric. I personally like to follow instructions to a T until maybe I've found a better way to do something, but I'm not that adventurous when it comes to doing things outside of rules. It's definitely my Virgo cusp coming to play. I kind of want to know what you guys would do. Would you just cut these on a fold or would you follow the pattern directions as shown? I think for the purpose of the video, I'm going to just follow the pattern instructions because I want to follow this to a T and see how the dress turns out. And then maybe I can add my notes on if I would have done something differently or not. So I will meet back with you guys after work when I come back to cut out this fabric.
After doing some research, I learned that this pattern runs extremely large. So I went ahead and took the lining fabric and used it as a way to make a mock-up. After trying it on, I took in 1.5 centimeters in the back where the zipper would be attached, and I did a full bust adjustment. I enlarged it by one size after following a YouTube video. Here you can see me trying it on, and you can see the larger bust cup compared to the original B-size bust cup. This is what that mock-up looks like with the bust adjustment, and I just basted in a zipper so that I can see how it was fitting. And I'm gonna go ahead now and recut everything in the actual lining pieces. I'm actually going to go off of the instructions that we have because I'm going to continue to use the lining as a toile like I did the first time around. So I'm going to construct the upper bodice piece together with basting stitches try it on again, and once I confirm that everything is fitting correctly, I'll take it apart and then sew everything how they're directing us to do it. And I'm taking that over to my ironing board and pressing open all of the seams.
I've done the gathering stitches on the bodice pieces. Now I'm going to attach the top and the bottom together. Okay, so I put the lining pieces together as a full bodice, and this is what we're working with. I think the fit is pretty good. It's so much better than it was with the original. And I'll show you guys what I took in the back center seam. I just basted in a zipper just so I could really feel how it's gonna fit. And then I did a full bust adjustment and I added 1.5 centimeters to the bust. This pattern is designed with a B cup, and in pattern sizes, I'm a C cup. I'll link the video down below of the video that I used to figure out what cup size I would be. And then what I did was I followed the instructions on my Amy Bias cut dress because it is the same type of bust cup with the gathering. So I knew it was probably going to work. So I cut it down here and I just opened it up, keeping it attached here until I added 1.5 centimeters and then redrew the pattern piece on a piece of wrapping paper. And this is how we got that extra room there. I'm gonna move on to cutting out the main fabric pieces and attaching the lining and the main fabric. And I'll see you guys in the next clip when we're going to do that.
Okay, I've had to lay out this fabric on my floor because it's huge and this will not fit on a table. I have ultimately decided to follow the pattern and to do everything on a single layer piece of fabric. I think that they're asking us to do this because some pieces are cut on the bias. So in order to make sure everything is laid out properly, I'm just going to do it like this. So I'm going to be mirroring some pieces and then using basically this whole bed sheet to do my pattern. So I'm going to work on this. It's going to be a little bit time consuming to do, and I'll meet up with you guys in a bit. So the first thing to do for dress A is we are going to sew the bodice upper front and upper back together at the side seams. And then we are going to be making the straps. I'm going to attach these like I did the lining, right sides together. I'm now making some straps and I'm using my loop turner. This is a really great tool to use to turn your straps inside out. It can be a little tricky with thicker fabric like this bed sheet, but it does work and I love using it. You'll see me here attaching my straps incorrectly. They are going to come out twisted. So make sure to double check before you attach your straps.
Good morning. It is the next day, and I'm just going to do a little bit of sewing before I go to work. So almost completed the bodice, the top of the bodice pieces. I did actually attach the straps twisted on both sides, and I've understitched them and fully attached them. So I am not going to worry too much about that, and I'm just decided to leave it. So we're going to do the next steps. Now that we've understitched the lining and attached the straps, it's instructing us to do a basting stitch all along the edge and then on top of that do a gathering stitch. So I'm going to do that now. So So I've done the basting stitch and I'm going to do the gathering right above it. And you always want to keep the strings for your gathering stitches quite long because you're going to pull on them afterwards. Stitch the lower front bodice and lower back bodice together at the side seams. So we're going to be attaching these two. And then pin the upper bodice sections to the lower bodice, adjust gathers and baste. And then we will stitch the lining on top of that. So that's what we're going to do. And of course, don't forget we got to iron our seams open so that they lay nice and flat. Do not skip pressing your seams. It makes a really big difference with how everything lays and how crisp everything looks afterwards. With the right sides together, we're going to pin the front bodice piece to the bust cups, and we're going to gather this again so that it fits properly, just like we did with the lining. I'm going to sew one side at a time, making sure that everything is lining up nicely. Trying some new sewing angles today. Let me know how you guys like them. Do you like to see me? Do you like to see me sewing? Do you like to just see what's happening on the fabric and not care about seeing me? Just let me know because I want to give you guys what you want, you know? So I'm attaching the bottom lining pieces now, and I have the two center pieces together with the right side of my lining matched to the right side of my lining. So my bodice is flipped with the right side down, but the lining piece is up. I've attached it here. I've lined up the notch here and the side seam, and I'm going to do the same here. So this notch is here, and I'm going to align the side seams of my bodice here. Okay, this is the first try on of the bodice. I just basted in a zipper again just to try it on, and I think the fit is really good. Some things I would change. These straps are very big. See, the straps are too big and they would need to come up about that much. And this is just a tad bit tight because once the lining and the bodice pieces lined up, they weren't fully lined up. So I had to trim just a little bit off so that the zipper would align up, and that little bit is what this is. So I would probably just, what is this? Half a centimeter? A centimeter. So I would just adjust that in my pattern piece for next time. But I actually love how it is tight. And it's tight at the perfect spot because this is where the skirt's going to attach, and then it's just gonna like flow overwards. So I like that it's kind of fitted right here. But the straps definitely need to be just a little bit tighter. But the bust adjustment I think is so good. I'm so happy with this. Yeah, I'm excited to see how the rest of the dress is going to turn out. I've gone ahead and cut out a lining for the skirt out of another bed sheet. It doesn't call to do this in the pattern, but my fabric is translucent a little bit, you can see. So it will need a lining. Just put them right sides together, and I'm going to sew along the side seams and then flip it over.
I'm attaching the bodice piece to the skirt pieces right sides together and attaching my invisible zipper. I don't have an invisible zipper foot, just a regular zipper foot, so I found this a little bit tricky. I overlocked the edges and was going to do a 1 centimeter hem before I ran out of thread. I went ahead and tried on the dress anyways, and this is the finished result. I do love the way it turned out. I think it's very flattering, and I think that the adjustments I made were easy enough for a beginner, and it's definitely a pattern you should try out, especially if you find it on sale at your local fabric shop. Let me know what you would have done differently. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.